with the champ, John Jones.
Follow me on Twitter.
I like Jazz Davicius by decision at plus 300. I think it's pretty live in the spot. After watching the weigh-ins, it's something I wanted to look at. And Jasmine is a lot bigger than Kay Hansen. And with Jasmine's wrestling and stuff like that, like I know people have quoted like her age and her inexperience and stuff like that. But if you go back and watch her fights, like she is very, very good on the ground. And Kay Hansen is kind of a one-trick pony. If she can't get it on the ground, she's going to struggle. And I think with the size difference and the reach difference, I think she's going to struggle in the spot. So I think that Jasmine rises to a decision, and at a plus 300, I think it's worth a sprinkle for sure.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I think that's why this definitely does go. Well, I think that's definitely why this goes to decision, because I think the size difference combined with the wrestling is going to be something that stalls a lot of submission attempts. It's going to lead to, Hansen may attack. She may attack a submission, but she's not going to fully be able to sink in anything. She may be met with a couple elbows or whatever it may be, or just stalled situations with top heavy wrestling. So I just don't think a lot of people are looking that it's going to be a Hansen show all day long. And I just see the opposite. Does it lead to maybe, I don't know if I could see Jazz Davicius in a boring fight. I don't see her being on top and doing nothing. She's going to be active. And I think that's just going to win, dominant positioning and win control time. And yeah, I'm with you on that, man. You couldn't have broke that down perfectly. I just think that the submission gets nullified. Well, the submissions are going to get nullified, right? Mm-hmm. And that's just the deal right there. So yeah, Jazz Davicius. I had decision plus 275 that I just saw. Okay. So even if it's before fight time, it dwindles down a little bit. You may just want to go the dog number, which I think is plus 190 or plus 180, just to be safer. But I think the decision is really the way to go here. Watch her cut her open and knock her out now. But
yeah, of course.
Okay. The next one I was looking at, I was just mentioning to you, in the waiting room or pre-podcast, which was Tony Gravely. After I saw him at the weigh-ins, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a feeling and it's full of nothing and bullshit, but I'm going to lead to him inside the distance at plus 185. I think he's going to go for broke in this one and make a statement. I think we're going to look back on the fight and be like, damn, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna take that one as well too. And I already looked at this one and locked one in. Cyril Gone, plus 2 takedowns, plus 130.
And that's on Bodog?
That's on Bodog.
Okay.
So my thoughts on this is I think this may go longer than you think. And I think that I don't think that you're going to see an Ngannou that's going to rush in against a guy he knows who's very skilled striker. And he also is going to be worried about takedowns. And I think that if, even some strikes that outside that hit the leather on Gone, he's going to feel those, and that's going to force him to shoot a takedown. He's not going to want to be playing in there when there's heavy power right away. If I'm him, I would take Ngannou down as much as possible, shoot 2 or 3 takedowns in the first round, slow him down a little bit, and then go to work in the second and third. And they have a smart game plan, man. They've done it. You can see it in their fights. They play. It almost looks like John Jones type game plans in some of their fights. So I think that you're going to see takedowns, and I think that that's something to look at. I think it's it's a smart prop at plus 130. I mean, yeah, someone could get knocked out right away. I see this maybe going longer. The guys are going to hesitate, play on the outside, and engage each other a little bit more. So I like the plus 130 prop. Cyril Gone, 2+ takedowns. Definitely something to look at. Anyways, trying to find some sneaky angles for you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
But I definitely like the Jazz Davicius one. I think your breakdown on that is exactly the way why it's going to go to decision. There's going to be some top control in moments. Yeah, Hansen might squirm out in some situations, but she's going to be trying to attack submissions at points and going to get nullified by elbows. And it's going to be fun to watch. I'm excited.
Another thing that I saw that I like, if speaking of the main event, is I actually like the over 1.5. And as much as even to go to the over 2.5, the over 1.5 right now.
At that 2.5, you're right.
Yeah, it's minus 110. It's not chalky at all. I think pretty much what you said is on point with the main event. I think undoubtedly everybody's going to hedge the main event. Like you're going to bet Francis Ngannou KO round 1. You're going to bet Francis Ngannou KO round 2. If Cyril Gane's on your main ticket, that's your best way to do it. Because as this fight progresses, it's going to be a worse situation for him. Like we've seen Cyril Gane with his body kicks and everything like that, the way he works the body really well. He's going to take some wind out of Francis Ngannou's sails. And the longer this fight goes, the more it benefits him. And as you said, he's either going to incorporate grappling or leg kicks, or he's going to keep himself away from him essentially. And regardless which way he has to do it. And then, in my opinion, go for a later finish in the third or fourth round. So the over 1.5 minus 200 to me is a parlay piece. And the over 2.5 minus 110 is a nice looking piece as well.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely with you on that. I think this could end up being one of those heavyweight fights that you think is going to end right away, and it just doesn't. There's too much talent. I think there's going to be too much respect for each other in there right away. I don't see a Russian and a finish right away. I think that, worst case scenario, you may just squeak over 1.5 in this fight. If you're looking at a couple other fights on the card, what are some other things that jump out at you? I know we got Michael Morales against Trevin Giles as a potential, interesting battle. I know you're big on Ronnie Barcelos and Victor Henry fight. What's your other thoughts?
Yeah, Michael Morales is definitely, even to me, like I like Michael Morales even as like a parlay piece. If you look at Trevin Giles, he's very stationary in his fight style, where Morales is all kind of all over the place. And I think minus 125 is honestly a steal on this. Like I put this fight, at more like a minus 175, minus 200 for Morales. He's the younger, hungrier fighter. And, a lot of people say Trevin Giles, he has the UFC experience, but he hasn't really done much in the UFC to warrant it, right? Like he's been in there with some tough guys, as we stated in our official podcast that he has a win over James Krause, but I don't think he won that fight at all. And James Krause took that fight on, I think, like 24 hours notice or something, and came in and did work. Yeah. So I think Michael Morales, especially in the big cage, is going to be able to just use his distance, bounce around. He looked huge against him at the weigh-ins and win this fight. Then even probably ride it to a decision or a late TKO.
Okay. And then what are some other spots that you're looking at after the weigh-ins? Did you see anything that sort of jumped out at you as far as anybody that looked at the wreck?
No, honestly, one thing that stuck out to me is that Figgy looked good. And that was kind of what I was looking forward to until I placed an official bet. So I'm good at bet Davison Figueiredo. I'm not going to parlay it just because there is potential of how it's going to go. But I don't mind the plus 400 at Davison Figueiredo by decision. I think the longer this fight goes, I think he'll be able to win minutes. And the way he looks completely different than coming into the second fight. I'm not one to buy into narratives, but I think the weight cut is a massive difference in the second fight. And whenever it comes to the third, or whenever it came to the first fight, other than that low blow that took away the point, he would have won a decision there. So I think this fight's gonna be a lot closer than people think. And I'll take the dog money all day at Figueiredo, especially with the way he was looking. He was bouncing around, came in on time, had no issue.
Hopefully we at least were able to find some clever angles. That's one of the most important things. Because usually if you can find those clever angles, you've already matched your card or exceeded your output for the night. So
for sure,
if you can get, that one clever spot, you're either made your money back or you're already ahead. And then all the other stuff is gravy. That's a spot you want to be in, especially early if you can find one early on the card. If the Jazz one pays off, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, it's the first fight of the night. I already have so the
we went pretty deep on it too. So
yeah, we're gonna.
All right, brother. So as always, Donttap podcast, first episode of Over 1.5. I'm Callum McGregor. He's Nick Eagle. We try to find angles, have some fun with it, try to make some money. So yeah, if you don't like it.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Hey, I'm UFC President Dana White, and you're in the ring with Callum McGregor.
They're staring at me. See them?